1. Introduction. Hello, my name is Amanda. I want to tell you something important. This is my story. It is not always a happy story. I feel sad when I think about it. But I want to tell the truth. I must be honest about what happened. First, I want to say this. I never wanted to make my sister, Eve, sad. She is very important to me. I love my sister. But sometimes, life is not easy. Love can be very confusing. It can make situations very hard. Sometimes, the feelings we have can lead us to places we did not plan to go. Love can sometimes lead to wrong actions or sad endings. It is not always a happy feeling. Feelings can be strong and change things in ways we do not expect. Let me tell you about me. I am 24 years old. I live by myself in a small flat. My job is in a bookshop. It is a nice, quiet place with many books. I like reading and helping people find stories. My life was quiet before all of this started. I did not have many big problems. I enjoyed my simple life and my work. Now, let me tell you about my sister. Her name is Eve. Eve is my older sister. She is 28 years old. She is 4 years older than me. Eve is very pretty. She has dark hair and bright eyes. She also acts very sure of herself. She always seems to know what she wants in life. Many people like her because she seems strong and happy. Eve is married. Her husband's name is Larry. Larry is married to my sister. They have been married for some years now. Eve and Larry seemed happy together. When I visited them, they often looked like a perfect couple. They lived in a nice house not far from my flat. Eve often told me how good Larry was. She talked about him a lot. He seemed like a good husband for her. They smiled together often. This story is about the three of us, me, Amanda, my sister, Eve, and her husband, Larry. It explains how things became very difficult between us. It is about feelings that grew when maybe they should not have. I want to explain how everything happened from the start. It is hard to talk about, but I feel I need to. Please understand, I did not wake up one day and decide to hurt Eve. Things changed slowly. Feelings grew stronger over time. Love is powerful and it can change your whole life. It changed mine. I think about my sister often. I hope one day things can be better between us. This story explains why that is hard right now. It is a story about love, but also about sadness and difficult choices. 2. A happy family. My sister, Eve, and her husband, Larry, looked like the perfect couple. Everyone thought they were very happy together. When people saw them, they saw smiles and easy conversation. They lived in a nice house and seemed to have everything. Eve often said how lucky she was. Their life looked like a story from a magazine. It was hard to see anything wrong from the outside. They went to parties together and took holidays together. They always seemed happy and in agreement. Larry was a man many people liked. He was handsome, with kind eyes and a warm smile. He was not just good-looking, he was also very nice. He often told jokes and made people laugh. He seemed friendly to everyone he met. He was polite and knew how to talk to people easily. When he listened, he really paid attention. It was easy to understand why Eve loved him. He had a good job and seemed responsible. He appeared to be a wonderful husband to my sister. I must be honest. From the first time I met Larry, I liked him too. It was more than just thinking he was nice. I felt something more, something I knew I should not feel. He was my sister's husband, so I kept my feelings deep inside me. I never told anyone. I smiled when Eve talked about him, but inside it was difficult. I tried hard to push these feelings away. I told myself he was Eve's husband, and that was all. But it was not easy to control my heart. Eve loved talking about Larry. She often told me stories about the nice things he did for her or the funny things he said. "Larry is the best husband," she would say often. "He is so kind and thoughtful." Every time she praised him, I felt a little pain inside. It was jealousy, I think. I wanted someone to talk about me like that. And maybe I secretly wanted Larry to be that someone. But I never showed this feeling. I just listened quietly and nodded. I felt bad for being jealous of my own sister, but the feeling stayed. I visited Eve and Larry's house quite often. We were sisters, and our family was close. During these visits, Larry was always friendly to me. He did not ignore me like some people did. He asked about my job at the bookstore. He smiled directly at me. Sometimes he would talk to me separately for a few minutes, asking about my day or my interests. These small things made me feel seen. He made me feel like I was interesting. It was different from how other people usually treated me. When he paid attention to me, my secret feelings grew a little stronger, even though I tried hard to stop them. He made me feel special, and I liked that feeling very much. 3. A big secret. One evening, I stayed late at Eve and Larry's house. We had dinner together, like we often did. Larry went to bed early because he had work the next morning. Eve said she wanted to finish a book. I was helping clean the kitchen, and then I decided to go home. The house was quiet. As I walked near the living room to get my coat, I heard Eve talking. Her voice was soft, like she did not want anyone to hear. I stopped. Was she on the phone? Yes, I could hear the low sound of her voice. I did not want to listen, but I stood there for a moment. Then I heard something clearly. Eve laughed, a quiet laugh. She said, "Oh, stop it." There was a pause. Then she said, "No, he is asleep. Don't worry, Larry will never know." My body felt cold. Larry will never know? Know what? Who was she talking to? It sounded like she was talking to a man, but it was not Larry. Her voice was different. It was happy, but also secret. I quickly moved away before she could see me. My heart was beating fast. I went to the front door, put on my coat, and left the house without saying goodbye. Outside, the night air was cool, but I felt hot and confused. Eve, my sister Eve, was she seeing another man? Their marriage always looked so perfect. Eve always talked about how wonderful Larry was. Larry was kind and funny. He seemed to love Eve very much. How could she do this to him? All the way home, I thought about what I heard. Eve had a secret, a big secret. And now I had the secret too. What should I do? Should I tell Larry? Poor Larry. He seemed so happy with Eve. Telling him would break his heart. It would destroy their marriage. I remembered how nice Larry was to me. He deserved to know the truth, didn't he? Or should I talk to Eve first? I could ask her about the phone call. Maybe I misunderstood, but her words were clear. Larry will never know. If I talked to Eve, she might get angry. She might lie to me. Our relationship as sisters could change forever. Maybe I should do nothing. Maybe it was not my business. It was Eve's life, Eve's marriage. But keeping this secret felt wrong. It felt heavy. I liked Larry, and it hurt me to think of him being lied to. I arrived at my small apartment. I sat on my sofa for a long time in the dark. I felt shocked and sad. My perfect older sister was not so perfect. Her happy marriage was maybe not so happy. And I was in the middle, holding a secret that could change everything. I did not know what to do. That night, I could not sleep well. The secret stayed in my mind, getting closer. After Amanda learned Eve's secret, things started to change slowly. Larry began to visit Amanda at the bookstore where she worked. It was often quiet in the small shop, so they found time to talk. At first, their talks were simple. He asked about her work or what books she liked. But soon, Larry started to share more about his own life. He told Amanda that he often felt lonely when he was at home. He said things felt different with Eve now, but he did not know why. These visits happened more often. Larry came to the bookstore maybe 2 or 3 times each week. Sometimes he bought something, but often he just wanted to talk. Amanda started to look forward to seeing him. Their talks became longer. They spoke about more personal things. Larry told Amanda more about his feelings. He said Eve always seemed busy or was not warm towards him. He felt confused because he did not understand the reason for this change. Amanda listened quietly. She felt bad for Larry. She remembered the secret phone call she heard Eve make, but she did not tell Larry about it. It was a very hard secret to keep inside. Listening to Larry talk made Amanda feel closer to him. She began to see him differently. He was not just Eve's husband. He was a kind man who seemed unhappy. Her feelings for him became stronger with each visit. She knew it was not simple. He was married to her sister, Eve, but she could not control her feelings. When Larry smiled at her, or when he said she was a good listener, her heart felt happy. She liked being with him. She thought about him often, even when he was not there. She started to wish that their situation was not so difficult. One afternoon, the rain was falling very hard outside. The bookstore was nearly empty because of the bad weather. Larry came inside. He was wet from the rain. He looked sad. They sat down and talked for a long time. He shared more about how Eve was acting distant. He said he felt alone. Amanda tried to say kind words to make him feel better. Before Larry left, he stood up and looked at Amanda for a moment. Then he gave her a hug. It was a warm and gentle hug that lasted a few seconds. He said quietly, "You are the only one who listens to me, Amanda. Thank you." That hug felt special. It seemed like more than just a friendly hug. Amanda's heart beat very fast. After Larry went back out into the rain, Amanda stood still for a minute. She felt very confused. A part of her felt happy because Larry seemed to like her and trust her. He needed someone to talk to, and he chose her. But another part of her felt strong guilt. Larry was Eve's husband. Eve was her own sister. Was it okay to feel happy about this connection? Was it wrong to want this closeness to continue? Amanda did not have the answers. She only knew her life felt more complex now, and her feelings for Larry were growing stronger every day. 5. A kiss and a secret love. One evening, there was a knock on my door. It was late. When I opened it, Larry was standing there. He looked very sad and tired. He told me he had a big argument with Eve earlier that night. His eyes were red. He seemed broken inside. I felt sorry for him. "Come in," I said softly. I made him some warm tea. We sat on my small sofa. He did not talk much at first. He just looked down at his hands. I waited quietly, ready to listen. Slowly, he started to tell me about the argument. He said Eve was cold and distant again. He felt very alone in his marriage. He looked straight at me then, his eyes full of pain. "You always understand me, Amanda," he said softly. He put his hand on mine. His touch felt warm but also dangerous. My stomach felt strange. "Why can't things be different?" he asked, his voice almost a whisper. "Why can't it be you?" My heart started beating very fast. I knew this was wrong. He was my sister's husband. Eve was my family. But my feelings for Larry were strong. Before I could think of what to say, he moved closer. Then Larry kissed me. It was not a quick kiss. It was long and full of sadness and need. That kiss changed everything. A big part of me felt terrible, full of guilt. I was betraying Eve. But another part of me felt something else, like hope, or maybe just happiness to be close to him. I knew it was very wrong. But in that moment, I could not push him away. It felt like something that had to happen. After that night, Larry and I started seeing each other in secret. It was our secret love. He visited my apartment when Eve was not home or when he told her he was working late. Sometimes we met for coffee in quiet cafes far away where nobody knew us. We talked for hours. We laughed together. When I was with him, I felt truly happy, happier than I had felt in a long time. But I also felt scared constantly. We were living a secret life, always hiding. We had to be careful about phone calls and messages. We could not tell anyone. Every time my phone rang unexpectedly, my heart jumped. I worried it was Eve. Every time someone looked at us for too long, I felt afraid they knew our secret. It was a difficult mix of feelings. I had the joy of being with Larry, the man I loved. But I also carried the heavy weight of our secret, the guilt, and the fear of being discovered. I knew we were hurting Eve, even if she didn't know yet. This secret love was exciting, but it was also eating me inside with worry. I often wondered where this dangerous path would lead us. 6. The truth comes out. One afternoon, the doorbell rang at Amanda's apartment. Amanda was not waiting for anyone. She felt nervous when she opened the door. It was Eve. Her sister never visited without calling first. Amanda felt cold inside. "Eve, what are you doing here?" Amanda asked. She tried to make her voice sound normal and happy, but it was difficult. Eve did not smile. Eve walked past Amanda into the small living room. Her eyes moved around the room, looking at everything carefully. Then her eyes stopped. She saw a man's jacket on a chair near the window. It was dark blue. It was Larry's jacket. Amanda's heart started beating very fast. She forgot Larry left it there. She forgot to hide it. Eve looked at the jacket for a long time. She did not move closer to it. She just looked. After a minute, she turned slowly and looked at Amanda. Her face was very serious. "Whose jacket is this, Amanda?" she asked. Her voice was quiet, but it sounded very loud in the small, silent room. Amanda opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out at first. She wanted to tell a lie. She could say it belonged to a friend. She could say she found it somewhere. But she looked at Eve's face. Eve did not look angry yet, just very serious. Amanda thought her sister already knew the answer. She could see a sad question in Eve's eyes. Amanda felt very tired. She was tired of the secrets and the lies. It was time for the truth. "It's Larry's," Amanda finally said. Her voice was very small, like a whisper. Eve closed her eyes for a moment. When she opened them again, they looked different. They looked hurt. "Larry's," she repeated. "Why is Larry's jacket in your apartment?" Eve's voice started to shake a little bit. Amanda took a deep breath. This was the most difficult thing she ever had to do. "He was here, Eve," she explained quietly. "He comes here sometimes to talk." Eve stared at her younger sister. Her face showed she did not understand. "Sometimes? What do you mean, sometimes? Why does he come here?" Amanda could not look into Eve's eyes anymore. She looked down at the floor. "Eve, I have to tell you something. It's very difficult." Tears started to form in Amanda's eyes. "Larry and I, we have feelings for each other. We are together. The room was completely silent after she spoke. It was a heavy, uncomfortable silence. Amanda waited, feeling scared. What would Eve say? What would she do? Then Eve made a small sound, like a gasp or a cry. She covered her mouth with her hand. Her face changed quickly. The confusion left and anger appeared. "Together?" Eve asked again. Her voice was louder now. "What does that mean, together?" she almost shouted. "We love each other," Amanda whispered. Saying the words felt wrong and painful. Eve started shaking her head back and forth, faster and faster. "No, no, that's not possible. You wouldn't do that. You are my sister." Tears began to run down Eve's face. They were big, hot tears of sadness and anger. "How could you?" she cried out. "With Larry, my husband." Her voice was loud now, full of pain. She screamed and cried. She looked at Amanda with so much hurt, like she was looking at a stranger, not her sister. The secret was out. The truth was finally told, and it hurt everyone. 7 hard times. After the big fight, after the shouting and the tears, Eve made her decision. She told Larry it was over. She was leaving him. It all happened very fast. One day they were married, living in their nice house. The next day, Eve was packing her bags to leave. She said she could not look at Larry or Amanda again. Her heart felt broken into many pieces, and her sadness was mixed with deep anger. The news traveled quickly to Amanda's family. It started a very hard time for everyone. Her parents called her soon after they heard. They did not shout, but their voices were cold and full of disappointment. "Amanda," her mother said slowly, "how could you do this? Eve is your sister. How could you cause her so much pain?" Her father told her he expected better from her, that he was deeply disappointed. Amanda tried to explain her feelings for Larry, but they did not seem to want to listen. It felt like they only saw what she did wrong. She felt completely alone. It was like losing her family, not just her sister. Family dinners stopped happening for her. Phone calls became short. Soon after Eve moved out of their house, Larry had nowhere else to stay. He asked Amanda if he could live with her. He moved his clothes and some boxes into Amanda's small apartment. It felt strange having him there all the time, in her space. It was very different from the secret meetings they used to have, full of excitement and fear. Now it was just real life every day. But this new real life was quiet and heavy. The happiness Amanda thought she would feel was not there. Larry often looked sad and thoughtful. He did not speak about Eve much, but Amanda could see the guilt in his eyes. He felt bad about hurting the woman who was his wife for years. Amanda felt guilty too. She loved Larry, yes, but seeing his sadness and always thinking about Eve's face during the fight made her own heart feel heavy like a stone. Sometimes they ate dinner in silence. Other times, the television was loud, filling the quiet space between them. The small apartment felt full of unspoken words, regrets, and sad feelings. Amanda started to feel very lonely, a strange feeling when the man she loved was right there living with her. Her old friends did not call as often. Maybe they heard the story and did not know what to say. Her family kept their distance. She missed Eve terribly, the sister she grew up with. She missed their talks and laughs, even though she knew Eve probably hated her now. She missed the simple life she had before the secrets and the lies started. Late at night, after Larry fell asleep, Amanda often lay awake in the dark. She stared at the ceiling and thought about everything that happened. She had Larry now. He was hers. This was what she wanted, wasn't it? But was this feeling really love? Was love supposed to feel so difficult, so full of shadows? Was it meant to bring so much pain to the people you cared about? Was it supposed to make you feel so cut off and alone in the world? She didn't know. She had no answers, only more hard questions in her quiet apartment. 8. A new life. 1 year passed. It was a long year. Life with Larry was not always easy. We lived together, but sometimes the house felt quiet and sad. We both carried the weight of what happened. My family still did not speak to me much. It hurt, but Larry and I stayed together. Then we decided to get married. It felt like the next step for us, a way to try and build something new. Our wedding day was not like the big, happy weddings you see in pictures. It was very small. We got married in a simple room at the city office. Only 3 or 4 friends came with us. They smiled and said congratulations, but it was quiet. My parents were not there. My sister, Eve, was not there. No one from my family came. Seeing the empty chairs where my family should be made my heart feel heavy. I looked at Larry standing next to me. He was my husband now. A part of me felt happy. I loved him, and we were starting a life together. But another part of me felt so sad. I remembered happy times with Eve, laughing together. Now, she was not part of my life. I lost my sister because of my choices. I missed her very much. I missed my parents too. This happiness with Larry came with a very high price. Was it worth it? I did not know. Now I think about love a lot. People say love is beautiful, like in songs or movies. But my story shows that love can be difficult. It can cause pain. It can break families. The choices we make for love can change everything, not always for the better. We think we are following our hearts, but sometimes our hearts lead us to complicated places. There are always consequences, things you lose when you gain something else. I still don't know if I made the right decision. Some days, I feel sure about Larry and our life. Other days, I feel full of doubt and guilt. I think about Eve often. I hope that one day, maybe many years from now, she can forgive me. I want her to understand, even if she cannot forget. Sometimes, late at night, I look at Larry while he sleeps. I love him, but a question stays in my mind. Does he truly love me completely, or does he still think about Eve? Does a part of him miss the life he lost? Starting a new life is hard, especially when it began like ours did. I wonder if our love is strong enough for the future. Only time will show us the answer.